It is 6:32, 1,300 and counting. That's the number of unaccompanied migrant children right now being housed at Freeman Coliseum.
Yeah, Erica Zuko joins us live near the Coliseum with more on what's being done to place those children with family members. Erica.
Yeah, Barry and Audrey, well, they opened up this center about a week ago, and Health and Human Services has been handling care. There have also been San Antonio-based volunteers as well as people here in San Antonio making donations so that these children have things to play with, sports equipment, while they're here in San Antonio at this site. But we want to break down for you some of the numbers to give you some perspective on how significant this site is. As you mentioned, 1,370 children is the latest number we were given by HHS in terms of children here. Overall in HHS care as of yesterday, they say that 15,193 unaccompanied children were in their care, 4,231 in CBP custody, and then 908 transferred out of CBP custody yesterday. On average, in about 30 days, they say on a given day, around 500 children are apprehended. There are typically about 4,686 in CBP custody and about 517 transferring out per day. So they might transfer out straight to a family or sponsor, or they might go to one of these shelters. Most of these children are coming from countries like Honduras, Guatemala, and El Salvador. The numbers released by HHS do not include children from Mexico. It says most of those children are actually sent directly back to that country to their families. As for how you can help, donations of games, sports equipment, activity books, basketball hoops can be coordinated through the San Antonio Food Bank. You need to call ahead before you drop those off. And to volunteer, you can reach out to Catholic Charities of San Antonio directly. And this week, the White House announced a new team that will be helping with disaster recovery assistance. They're going to be doing humanitarian response in those 3 countries that I mentioned, trying to help with things like food, jobs, and protection. So potentially more children could be able to stay with their families in their home countries. Reporting in San Antonio, Erica Zuko, KENS 5 Eyewitness News.